In today's segment, I'll describe different deployment options for organizations moving to a modern software-defined WAN architecture. In fact, there are a range of options for designing, procuring, deploying, and managing ongoing SD-WAN operations. These include do-it-yourself or DIY, DIY with a third-party integrator to assist in initial deployment and configuration, a fully managed turnkey SD-WAN service from a managed service provider, or a hybrid co-managed service model that provides some access to ongoing management functions. Now, before going into the nuances of the different deployment models, let me provide a summary of the activities required to ensure a successful SD-WAN deployment. We'll look at these in 4 phases, and these must be accomplished regardless of the deployment model that you choose. They are design and assessment, network infrastructure tasks, implementation, and ongoing operations. The design and assessment phase includes all the planning and design activities for the SD-WAN, analyzing traffic patterns, bandwidth patterns by site over the next 12 to 24 months or longer, defining the quality of service and security policies for different classes of applications, and determining the mix of WAN transport services like broadband, internet, LTE, and MPLS services that are needed at each site. The network infrastructure tasks include specifying the specific SD-WAN appliances to deploy and whether they're physical or virtual, depending upon their location, ordering additional WAN circuits if necessary. The implementation phase includes defining the migration plan from the previous WAN design, likely based on traditional routers, then staging the SD-WAN appliances, determining how many sites to deploy per day or per week, and making the provisions for interoperating with sites not yet deployed. And of course, defining the application and security policies to specify how different traffic types will be handled. And finally, ongoing operations address changes to the SD-WAN, new sites, new apps, modifications to QoS or security policies, etc. And ongoing operations also includes managing software updates, monitoring the SD-WAN and application performance, also reporting, and of course, troubleshooting any issues that might arise. There's a really good and thorough solution brief on our Silver Peak website called WAN Deployment Options that describes the details of these phases and tasks. Now, in the do-it-yourself deployment model, the organization is responsible for all of the tasks and activities that I just defined. These tasks are often easily accomplished by organizations that have larger IT staffs with a breadth of experience. And the benefits of the DIY model are that the organization retains complete control of the entire SD-WAN lifecycle, and they eliminate or at least minimize their dependence on WAN service transport providers. But these tasks may seem daunting to smaller organizations or those with limited IT resources, or a company might simply want to outsource most IT tasks to focus their resources on their core business. Now, the second model I described earlier was do-it-yourself with assistance from a third-party integrator. The organization still purchases their SD-WAN software and hardware from a vendor, but then contracts with an integrator to assist with the design, staging, deployment, and initial configuration. And sometimes it's the vendor they purchased the SD-WAN from, sometimes it's a third-party independent integrator. The benefit to this model is that the organization still retains full control of the SD-WAN lifecycle, but they can often accelerate rollouts faster than they would by doing it all themselves. The fully managed SD-WAN deployment model is the easiest for an organization. It provides a single point of contact, the so-called one throat to choke. The provider takes care of the design, the deployment, and all ongoing management operations. A fully managed service might include a service level agreement or SLA for SD-WAN performance and availability. Another key benefit is the organization can shift IT resources to other strategic projects. And while it is a full OpEx cost model, a fully managed service might not be the lowest cost option nor the fastest to deploy, since there is a dependency on the service provider to resolve any and all issues. Now finally, the co-managed option is a hybrid model. The SD-WAN hardware and software is usually owned by the managed service provider. The customer pays a monthly bill for an SD-WAN service just like with a fully managed service, but the co-managed service provides a range of viewing and perhaps even control options for the customer. For example, they may simply get a view into the performance of the SD-WAN, their applications, and the underlying transport services. Or The provider might even provide a management portal allowing the customer to make some changes to application policies. Now, a benefit of the co-managed SD-WAN service is that some level of control is retained by the organization. Thanks for joining us today. Check out our SD-WAN Deployment Options solution brief on our website, and we'll see you again soon on another segment.